first video on adding alternative logins to Alpha Anywhere using social network credentials focused on how to set up developer projects in each social network. From those projects, we should have obtained a public key and a private key. We will use these keys to add information to the Alpha Anywhere project that you're working on. We begin by opening up the project properties. Within the web project properties, we define something called named providers. This allows us to add a name to the information we're going to enter and allows us to change the keys at publish time without having to change the actual provider name that we use within the project. When we open this up, we will see we have a number of what we call named resources. As you can see, we have 4 of them here, and each one is going to a different provider. If we open one of these up, we can see we have the resource name. This is standard throughout the whole Alpha project and does not change even at publish time. This is the app ID, in this case the app secret for this particular provider. As we begin to look at the other ones, we can see each of the other ones have the appropriate key and secret shown in this case. We can configure all of the various named resources we used to use for the various social networks. When we set the projects up, we entered a redirect URL that may or may not have been appropriate. On this particular page, we have another link here we can open up, and this will show the proper resource redirect URL to use in this particular project. This initial project, the defaults will be used in localhost or local web root. Therefore, the redirect URLs will be appropriate for running in local web root. As you can see here, we've included one using an IP address, as this is typically what you would need to use when testing in Twitter. We also have an ability here to copy the selected URL to the clipboard. The reason we're doing this is you would have to go back to the original social network provider and insert the proper redirect URL if you're going to test this in local web root. And as you can see here, we've now configured all the named resource providers. At publish time, we can also change this. So for example, here we'll take a look at publish. When we go to publish, we're going to publish a remote hosted. We go to remote hosted, we can see we have the named resource providers listed here as well. If we open this up, this is a similar screen. The difference here is we're going to show the redirect URL that's going to be used in the published location. This is created from the base URL that we have added to the published project. So when we publish this, this will be a valid URL for that published location. So when we look here, when we look at the redirect URL, this will give us a redirect URL based on that base URL value. It also gives some alternatives you might be able to use if you're going to put in, for instance, a domain name, a folder name, etc., to give you an idea of what is possible. In all cases, we are going to redirect back to this system page, the A5 _A5 external authentication.A5W page. You must redirect back to this page from all the providers for the system to work properly. And again, we can copy any of these entries here to the clipboard, which we can then use to paste back into the social network project. And again, we can edit it here. And notice in this case, we can't change the resource name or the provider because they are part of the web project. However, we can change the app ID and app secret, as they may be different when we go to the published location. They will be different in the case of Twitter because Twitter can only use one redirect URL. You can change these values, and then if you wish to go back to the default values, you can just click on this button and it'll reset the key values to the values stored in the project properties. This is the first step in setting up your web application to use named resources and external authentications.